He's 99.95% correct. Oh, I'm going to correct him. No.
It's not even that they were wrong, right? It was like, hey, Anna, you're wrong. And it was like double, triple down. It wasn't people being mean. It was them consistently refusing to hear that good faith criticism.
No. So don't, look, you want to say, hey, I don't agree with you? God bless. You want to say, Cenk, you shouldn't say anything back.
You should say something back, and it should be like, yeah, sorry for this horrible take. And I don't know why we went down this horrible road.
Brother or sister, I don't know what your
I just gotta be honest, I just don't really care to like collaborate with any other leftist ever again at this point.
Yeah,
So this is like heartbreaking to me.
No, that's where I'm at, because they come on the show, they build a name for themselves, and then they build a bigger name for themselves, trashing us as if they don't know who we are, as if they haven't worked with us, they don't know what our actual political values are. So I don't, Jake, I never want to talk about them again. I never want to address them again. It's a waste of time. There's important stuff going on in the country. Our personal drama with a bunch of leftists on Twitter doesn't matter.
Honestly, it's heartbreaking. They are not leftists, but they're kind of like my heroes in a way. Like I used to watch TYT like every day when I was younger, you know, and especially Anna, like I have a lot of respect for, and it's, you know, fading now. But then just to hear her say like she never wants to work with leftists ever again. It's like, you know, you could probably resolve this in like a single conversation, right? But the fact that they don't want to resolve this is one of the red flags. It's a wonderful day in the homiehood, a wonderful day for a homie. Won't you be my homie to Taro? I love you, chat. Everything's gonna be okay. It's very important that we don't infight in chat, okay? Because otherwise we risk ending up like the online left on Twitter, which right now is an all-out bread tube battle royale. And it all started from this horrible tweet from Anna Kasparian. We've already covered this on my channel. And actually, it was one of the things that I felt really bad about, because I felt like I was really hard on Anna and Cenk, and I called them the young TERFs. And you know, someone in the comments of the first YouTube video I made was like, if you say that you like Anna, then like, why are you being so hard on her? And I honestly didn't feel very good about it. And it was the first kind of thing I ever regretted kind of being so harsh about on my channel. And partly why I was so harsh is because there seemed to be no self-reflection, and there was just like doubling down after doubling down. And I thought it was just like very strange behavior. I honestly thought that by now, it's been like what, 2 weeks, a month, that Anna would have like done the necessary growth and apologized and said, oh my God, I see why this was stupid now. But that has not happened. And it's actually like really shocking that this hasn't happened. So the original tweet here is so hard to understand why this is happening. I'm a woman. Please don't ever refer to me as a person with a uterus, birthing person, or a person who menstruates. How do people not realize how degrading this is? You can support the transgender community without doing this shit. And I mean, of course you can support the transgender community without doing this shit. And in fact, pretty much everyone who supports the transgender community that's exactly what they do. Nobody is saying, hey, we should replace the word woman with person with a uterus, or birthing person, or person who menstruates. Nobody is saying that. And that is literally why everyone kind of got upset about this. It's like, Anna, why are you bringing this out of nowhere? You should see like all these right-wingers agreeing with you, and all the people who you are politically aligned with in this sphere of content creation, political content creation, are calling you out and disagreeing with you in good faith. And instead of hearing that criticism, which Anna is, of course, smart enough to understand, you know, Anna has a long track record of being like a great advocate for progressive ideas. So then to suddenly not understand why this is a bad take is really disheartening. And I think it's why so many people are upset about this, is because Anna is kind of on the front lines here. You know, like she's debated Ben Shapiro. She basically is like the spearhead of the progressive online movement. In a way, I think more so than Cenk Uygur. You know, I guess the other person with as much clout might be like Hassan Piker, who obviously is related to the Young Turks family. So, but I think in a way, because Hassan appeals to a certain generation and Anna maybe has a different audience, that Anna serves like a really important function in terms of moving liberals towards the left, you know, and that is the primary function of the Young Turks. And it's really concerning that they are such a prominent figure and are doubling, tripling, quadrupling, centupling down on this. So I made a funny tweet. I am a man. Please don't ever refer to me as a person with a testicle, inseminating person, or person with an erection. How do people not realize how degrading this is? You can support the transgender community without doing this shit. And it's silly. Yeah, of course this is silly because nobody is trying to take away my identity as a man and boil me down to like a person with a testicle. It is funny because I do only have one testicle, so I took the liberty to kind of like mimic this tweet in a way that I felt was like obviously funny, you know. But that is kind of like the point, is that like, would I be a man if I had only one testicle? Would I be a man if I had no testicles? And I think because, you know, gender is a social contract, yes, obviously I would be, you know. But in the medical sense, if we're referring to people with testicles, yeah, it's obviously important to make a distinction in a medical sense versus in a gender being a social construct sense. And obviously Anna does understand this concept because she's not daft. So a lot of people have, of course, kind of raise their motives, and there's a great show with a lot of leftist figures, you can see them all here, called Leftist Mafia, and one of the people on this show is Ole, or Oleyemi Olurin, who has recently started their own channel and has been like a really great voice for progressives in the US, and they're part of this kind of collective of progressive content creators. So Ole made this 50-second video.
Just now, just now on the timeline, I scroll.
And I'm pretty sure it's not even about Anna. I haven't watched this, but
and I see
let's
some
watch.
Girl tried to compare Angel Reese to Sid from Ice Age. And that's when I really realized, babe, y'all are some fucking haters, babe. Like, babe, listen.
Okay, so it's a video about comparing Angel Reese, who is the college basketball player who did the pointing at the finger ring to indicate that they were going to win the championship. This is a video just being like, hey, people on Twitter suck.
Listen, haters. If I don't tell you nothing else but fucking people, they are haters, bro. Like, if you spend time on the internet, you will know that the app out there going to hell. Yes, sirree, Bob. Yes, sirree, Bob. Go.
So Ole, if you can't tell, is like funny, you know, like they're a super like funny person. So Anna, I don't know how in the world Anna took this personally, because it was about randos on Twitter. And Anna Kasparian said, "Oh, Ole, do you mean people who demand people cook their friends? Those kind of haters?" And Ole is like, question mark. Okay, first, and also Ole ratioed Anna with a question mark. I feel like that deserves like honorable mention here. And we get back this video of Leftist Mafia. And also, can we just say how weird it is that Anna, first of all, made a big deal about this in the first place with this tweet, like unprovoked, like tweeted this. Everyone was like, hey, that's a bad take. Like, please, like, do some basic reflection and apologize. And instead of doing any of that reflection, they came back and also brought this up out of nowhere on a tweet that had nothing to do with this subject as well.
I think it makes sense if you want her to change her mind and to understand what she did wrong. Because if without that context, like, again, that's why it's important, if you know her, that you do include that context. Because she has to understand that these disagreements are coming from an honest place, and we're not just doing it for clicks, right? Like that's
Okay, so then here's like everyone also just like being good faith and being like, hey, we're trying to change her mind. We're not trying to bully her into submission. We're trying to engage in good faith.
so.
No, of course.
But that's not the same. That's not the same, though. That's not the same.
I have to say it. Oh my God, I have to say it. I like Anna, but I feel a little bit like this is the coddle the white lady hour. And you know why? And you know why? I thought this even earlier because before this, the majority report.
Okay, wait. You can see, I'm not sure who this person up here, Kenny, is. But you can see that they're laughing. You can see that Lance of the Serfs is also like laughing. And let's be real. This is exactly what it is coddle the white lady hour, you know. And maybe, and even I was like really harsh on Anna and Cenk, and I felt like, hey, maybe I shouldn't have been so harsh on them, but maybe that was also just like, why, you know, like am I also coddling them?
Put out a thing too, and everybody else, and I was like, boy, everybody sure feels the need to trip over their fucking feet to come out to defend her for getting cooked when all of the people get cooked all the time. I have yet to watch a video of anybody defending me from getting fucking cooked. I've never seen it. I've never seen everybody come out. She has a lot of fucking bad takes, and then she gets cooked because she comes out unprovoked. She asks to be cooked. She got up today and she said, Twitter, cook me.
Right.
She has yet to delete the tweet. I want to make it clear. She has yet to delete the fucking tweet.
She hasn't deleted
it.
Yeah.
You know why? Because at the end of the day, she took a 106,000 like tweet. She didn't even get ratioed. She didn't even get ratioed. She'll be all right. All right. She didn't get ratioed. Like, oh my God.
I saw that majority report video that went up. It's exactly what Emma said on the show earlier today. And when I heard Emma say it, I was like, you know, Emma put it great. And then I saw them put it up with the title that says Anna.
I feel like they shouldn't have interrupted Olay here. They should have let her go off. But yeah, basically, Olay is right. You know, like Anna decided that she wanted to get like owned by the internet, you know, and this is like nothing to be upset about. I swear, like I want to like this tweet because this shit is funny, you know, like and yeah, as someone here just obviously points out, have you been sitting on that link for a week? 2 weeks at least. And it's just like, why? You like, this is like, okay, it's a joke, right? Like you're getting cooked because you deserve to get cooked, you know? And like, you know, Olay is cooking with fire here. And it's like, it's a joke because you woke up one day and decided to tweet this out for no reason. Like nobody is trying to say, hey, you're not a woman, you're a person with a uterus, especially not people who are advocating for trans rights. So, you know, Olay here is quote tweeting. I did my best to try to follow these quote tweet threads because like they're really crazy and there's so many content creators involved with this beef now. And what is kind of great to me too is that the leftist mafia, aka this group that has started, is kind of like acting in solidarity against the Young Turks. So to me, this is like a potential shift in the Young Turks kind of like being knocked off that #1 spot of like BreadTube. You know, I haven't like watched them like legitimately in like years and years, but they definitely are like the major figure on lefty YouTube politics. I feel like this format might be the new okay, yeah, progressive, not leftist, true. But I mean, you know, in terms of like the mainstream political spectrum, like that's kind of like how I'm categorizing this, right? But the leftist mafia now is just like maybe the new unified front, and it's kind of exciting. So Olay here is saying you made transphobic statements and we spent an hour of the show defending you from allegations of being a TERF rather than addressing the substantive problems with your comment. I said I felt like they were coddling you. I stand by that. If you think that makes me a hater, knock yourself out, Miss Mamas. So yeah, again, this is a clip out of context. I don't know. I guess they might have spent more of the show defending Anna from being a TERF. I called Anna a TERF, and now I feel like justified in actually doing that because there's been no good faith attempt to come back from this very TERFy take that she originally had. And let me just say this for people who I've been particularly kind to on the TL when y'all being rightfully dragged and when I was personally disrespected on your show. It's truly wild that you would try to come for me on the TL when everyone dragged you for the transphobic comments. Yeah, it's like, it's very interesting, I guess, that Olay was targeted on a tweet that had nothing to do with Anna. It was like Anna was like waiting for like a moment to drag this back out. And for some reason, she could have chosen any one of these people, but for some reason picked Olay. And, to think about that and why that might be. The meltdowns over wanting to be referred to as a woman rather than a birthing person is pretty wild. But that's the thing, Anna, and that's the thing Anna understands, is that nobody is trying to replace the word woman with birthing person. It's fine that you don't want to be referred to as a birthing person. You know why? Because nobody's trying to do that. I'll never apologize for that, especially as biological woman. As a biological woman who has had an effing lifetime of being told I'm less than. I'm a woman, no apologies. Okay, so I don't know. This is like getting a bit concerning too because like Anna's using the word biological woman here. It's like, okay, but you also understand that being a woman is a social construct and you do have a uterus, right? So even to refer to Anna as somebody who has a uterus, it is not even like a miscategorization of her identity in a certain context of like a political or medical context that aims to be inclusive, So I don't know. I'm just like, this is just like very concerning biological woman take. Like nobody is denying that you're a biological woman, This also gets quoted, and Olay, it says this you, and has this clip here of Anna, and it is a great reminder that Anna is a boss, but for some reason on this take, she's just like self-imploding.
It's bad faith. They know there's a difference between gender and sex. They know that it is very possible for someone to be born a biological male or a biological female, but in terms of gender, identify differently as a male or non-binary, but they still have the biological capacity, the physical capacity to get pregnant. So that's why the language, the rhetoric is inclusive to include those people. It is not a big deal.
There, she gets it. She gets it. Like this is what is like so concerning about all of this. She's like, it's just inclusive language and it's not a big deal.
Is inclusive to include those people.
Yeah, Anna, that's the only reason these terms exist.
It is not a big deal, but they make it a big deal. They manufacture it into a big deal.
They manufacture it into a big deal. It's almost like Anna has looked at this playbook and is able to identify it and is now just running that playbook.
Because that's all Republicans are. That's all they have. This is all they do. Endless bad faith arguments meant to fearmonger and direct hatred and fear toward other Americans, typically powerless Americans.
This is all just so interesting, right? Like, why? How can you say this one day and then turn around and say this other thing? It's just like so bizarre. As you say, Manic Jack Attack, thank you for the cheering and the bits. She might have been spending too much time with Ben Shapiro. That is what I said in my first video. I'm like, I feel like maybe when she interacted with Ben Shapiro, they traded notes on like how to like drive engagement or something. So of course, Cenk who will probably always come to the defense of Anna. They are co-hosts. They are essentially like business partners, right? Left-wing extremists. So again, another very strange categorization here. Like, he's talking about Olay. He's talking about Olay and Lance and Matt Binder and David Dole and Mike Figueredo and Illuminati and Kenny. I don't know who Kenny is, but he's talking about them as left-wing extremists. And it's like, bro, these are people that you are like ideologically aligned with. Like, why would you refer to them as extremists? And I think this is kind of just indicating to me that there is going to be a shift, and they are going to pivot at TYT. Left-wing extremists help right-wing so much. This is such a horribly constructed sentence. 66% of this country is left-wing, according to polling on policy issues. Okay, so obviously this 66% is including liberals as left-wing. I don't think if you include liberals as left-wing, then you would get those numbers, but okay. They don't believe in defunding the police or being called Latinx or calling women birthing people or abolishing prisons. Anyone who claims they do is lying. Okay, so this is like very, very disingenuous. You know, one thing that strikes me about this is that he has to take it beyond just the argument about birthing bodies and referring to people who have uteruses as people with uteruses. He has to take it beyond that because he knows that the original argument is super bad faith and one he cannot win. Cenk has been on this tip for a while that defunding the police is going to be something that hurts the left. And largely, I think his problem with it is that the defund the police movement has been abject failure. And there's kind of no denying that. Like, the number of police defunded is like 0. So yes, it has been a failure, but that doesn't mean it's like incorrect in its assessment, right? And I think what happens is that instead of having the correct take, Cenk here is just giving in to populism, whether it's left-wing populism or right-wing populism, right? I think honestly that is kind of what is polluting his brain here as he's like, according to polling on policy issues. You know, he's like, well, the polling says that this is not popular, therefore we shouldn't have that take. It's like, no, not really, especially when you're an influencer like Cenk and Anna, especially when you have followers who support you and you can help them understand these positions. You can have that nuance and you can string those threads and you can convince those masses that follow you that, about why these are important. Being called Latinx is also just like something that is happening to a small amount of people. It's simply a gender neutral way to refer to like Latin people. Again, not something like I'm like super like, that's the thing. I don't think these left-wing extremists, as Cenk says, are like super on everyone's ass about like, hey, you have to refer to Latin people as like Latinx, you know, or you have to refer to women as birthing people, or you have to abolish prisons and defund the police, you know, like these are, I don't think there are unrealistic expectations about how these issues are being pursued by the left. You know, if anything, we're starkly realistic about how unrealistic achieving these things are, even though they are the correct things to ask for. So Mike here, Mike Figueredo, who is the Humanist Report, who is of course part of the leftist mafia, here saying, I don't base my policy positions on polls. I educate myself, follow the evidence, and make decisions based on that. If my position on a particular issue is unpopular, I use my platform to inform people. And yeah, that's it. I'm pretty sure Mike used to work for TYT or was part of the TYT network. And then like, yeah, it's such an obvious take, is that like, yeah, instead of having instead of giving in to what is popular, even if it's wrong, it's really easy, especially if you have a platform, to inform your audience about the what you feel is like a better take, a better way to advocate for your ideals. So David Dole here, who is also part of the leftist mafia, is Canadian, I think based in Toronto. There are a number of issues that TYT advocate for before they became popular. Gay marriage and Medicare for all as examples. Why change your position to now only support things that poll well? So pointing out some of the hypocrisy here from Cenk. And Cenk, I think, quote tweeted this. Geez, it's so hard to follow. Isn't there... okay, yeah. But unlike gay marriage, none of these are the morally correct positions. So this is like insane. This, like, what people are calling for are essentially fundamental human rights for trans people, in so much as the law and medical language reflects the very real medical needs that they have. So to say that the extreme left in this case is not taking the morally correct position is actually extremely bad faith. There's a reason why 99% of Americans don't want to abolish prisons. Again, bringing up this, it's like we're not even talking about this, Cenk, because it makes no sense and leads to tremendous injustice. We don't, like, this might be true, but we literally just don't even know what he's talking about. I'm not going to back nonsensical positions like human rights for trans people, which is like, okay, Cenk. Positions because 12 people on Twitter pretend to represent the left and claim no one is allowed to disagree. Okay, so again, I think this is also just being super bad faith. There are times when there are 12 people on Twitter who claim to represent the left and are like super woke scoldy about it. This is not one of those times. And I think this language is actually really just like appealing to people who are of the right wing, and they want to try to kind of court TYT and bring them over to the right. So here is Riverboat Jack, a Twitch streamer, saying it's not morally correct to ensure trans people have abortion rights. Exactly, calling them out. Cenk, even under Roe, trans men, gender nonconforming, and intersex people were having to do their own abortions because so many were denied abortion care. The language matters. And is there a response? No, there's no response from Cenk, because Cenk is a coward and is really just like so off base here. David Dole saying today, only thing left to add to this quote unquote drama with TYT, I think being under constant bad faith attacks for years can cloud your judgment to what is and isn't a legitimate criticism. But I would hope when people closest to you ask you to rethink it, that you would actually take it seriously. You know, and this is just like, it's honestly so sad. So this is, yeah, Cenk here attacking them. There is the video, and something I've maybe missed here is that there is the video from yesterday or whenever, of TYT basically saying that they are done with the left.
For one that I read. So I'll just say this. Okay, I love you, and it's okay. And if you disagree, it's okay. If you want to leave, that's okay. Okay. Thank you for being a member all this time. I appreciate it. But what you're, in my opinion, what your misunderstanding is, and what you have maybe you didn't see is, so all this kerfuffle starts with a simple tweet.
But it wasn't just a simple tweet, right? It was like a really stupid tweet.
Then, at least half a dozen.
And you have a responsibility as someone with a big platform to not do stupid stuff like that.
Videos from other progressives or leftists online, all attacking us and calling us all sorts of names.
Sure, I did call them TERFs, but I'm also not a big channel. And the people who do have bigger channels were much more gentle with their words.
So maybe you don't see that, so you think like, well, what is Cenk so upset about, right? So they call us all these names and they feel super proud about it. Like, we are more pure.
That's not what's going on here. This is literally like a fundamental human rights issue. It's not about who is like has the better take. It's not a dick measuring contest. And the fact that Cenk thinks that it is super, super revealing.
So then I fight back on Twitter, and then all of a sudden they're like, how could you insult us? All we were doing was punching you in the face. No, that's a right-wing position.
Okay, but you weren't getting punched in the face, right? Like even for me to like call them TERFs, I was hoping that they would come back from that and be like, yeah, sorry about that. We understand why that was stupid now.
You punch, then you gotta.
And then I would have been like, okay, that's good. I don't want to like push people out of a broader leftist coalition.
That means I can lie here and relax while my strength comes back to me.
Yo, thank you so much, Angel Riot, for the 12 months in a row.
That I'm gonna counter, right? I don't mean you, Kid Tested. I mean for folks who are out there. Here, I'll name a name. Lance from the Surfs. He's on here all the time on the Power Panel, right?
So straight up calling out Lance from the Surfs.
And he comes out and does this like video about how he's so correct and oh yeah, the young Turks, correct.
Man, this is so cringe.
No, Lance, you're not goddamn correct. Nobody.
He is though. There's an objectively correct position about this issue. Like it's so weird that they're doubling down on this.
They elected you. The polling shows no one agrees with you. You're
the polling shows what? People are uninformed about rights that affect like 0.5% of the population. It's like, okay, yeah. So what?
Oh, buddy's online. I don't care, okay? And say, oh yeah, I'm 100%. He's 99.95% correct. Oh, I'm gonna correct him. No.
It's not even that they were wrong, right? It was like, hey, Anna, you're wrong. And it was like double, triple down. It wasn't people being mean. It was them consistently just coming back and refusing to hear that good faith criticism.
No. So don't, look, you wanna say, hey, I don't agree with you? God bless. You wanna say, Cenk, you shouldn't say anything back because you're being rude?
I don't like, you should say something back and it should be like, yeah, sorry for this horrible take. And I don't know why we went down this horrible road.
Brother or sister, I don't know what your
I just gotta be honest, I just don't really care to like collaborate with any other leftist ever again at this point.
Yeah, no,
so this is like heartbreaking to me.
No, that's where I'm at, because they come on the show, they build a name for themselves, and then they build a bigger name for themselves, trashing us as if they don't know who we are. As if they haven't worked with us, they don't know what our actual political values are. So I don't, Jake, I never want to talk about them again. I never want to address them again. It's a waste of time. There's important stuff going on in the country. Our personal drama with a bunch of leftists on Twitter doesn't matter.
So this is like, just like, honestly, it's heartbreaking. Like, as Manic Jack Attack says, like, they are not leftists, but they are just like, they're kind of like my heroes in a way. Like I used to watch TYT like every day when I was younger, you know, and especially Anna, like I have a lot of respect for, and it's, you know, fading now. But then just to hear her say like she never wants to work with leftists ever again over this issue. It's like, you know, you could probably resolve this in like a single conversation,
to like
right?
Collaborate with any other leftist ever again at this point.
Yeah,
that's where I'm at, because they come.
Like you could literally just like go on Leftist Mafia, or even just have a one-on-one conversation on your own show with Olay, and you could probably resolve this. But the fact that they don't want to resolve this is one of the red flags, for sure.
Come on the show, they build a name for themselves, and then they build a bigger name for themselves, trashing us as if they don't know who we are.
They make it sound like they're the kingmakers of BreadTube, you know? Resolving it doesn't get them paid. That seems to be the angle here, you know? And super weird. So directly calling out Lance from the Surfs, whose profile picture is still a QR code. I don't know why. This is so completely confusing to me. Myself and every other leftist and trans activist who have commented about this have done so from a place of love and respect. I've done zero name calling. Why is it blowing up so much when you agree completely with my position? Very strange, right? Because in a way, they do just like agree, right? They're like, hey, don't call women birthing people except in like a medical or legal context. And it's just like, yeah, that's like 10 out of 10 agree. So why are they so mad? Why is TYT so upset about this issue? And making such a big deal about it while also feeding into like the right wing panic. It's very bizarre. I respect Anna to the point where I know she has like better political instincts than that. So then if you give someone that much credit, then why? What is the intention? Assuming they know what they're doing because they have showed time and time again that they do. Then what are they doing, right? You just have to ask yourself. You feel like TYT has been on this path ever since Hassan left, and it feels like they're resenting having lost the seat atop the pedestal. Yeah, for real, like that might be true. Like Hassan, but also like having Hassan in good standing with you, like when Hassan said that like America deserved to get 9/11 or whatever, like he went on TYT and apologized. Like in a way, TYT lended a lot of legitimacy to Hassan, and I don't know why they would want to ever like break ties or like just draw a line in the sand between them and Hassan. It will be interesting to see Hassan. He had a very like lukewarm take on it, obviously, because there's like Anna is his friend and Cenk is his uncle, you know, like what can he really do? So again here, no one on the left is asking for women to be henceforth referred to as birthing people. This is made up issue and a massive gift to anti-LGBTQ plus bigots who want everyone to believe their demands of having basic human rights are insane. Yeah. And it's just like, it's just weird. Here's someone, I feel so traumatized. Someone called me a prostate person. I'm a man. We are more than prostate people. True. It is true. Okay, Cenk again. I had all these Twitter freaking tabs open. Okay, this actually is really another heartbreaking moment here. Is like Emma Vigeland, who got her start on TYT, and now works for the Majority Report. Responding to this tweet by Cenk about left-wing extremism and saying, "Isn't your point contradictory? If that number is correct, that means that any aversion to inclusive language is marginal compared to policy sets. Democrats have been doing well electorally as well. Nobody is making voting decisions based on clumsy activist/medical language." And that's exactly true. Emma here is also pointing out that what he's talking about here, polling, it actually isn't even true. We can see how the Republicans did talking about woke this, woke that, transgender this, transgender that, and they like tanked in the midterms. So what the hell is Cenk even talking about? What he's saying here is popular isn't even popular. And then Emma again saying what helps right here is ceding ground to them and not being proactive in reframing the debate around these phrases, which we have to do on behalf of this country's most marginalized groups. If people prefer inclusive language, shouldn't we listen and make the case for them? You know, and yeah, exactly. It's like Emma Vigeland again coming in here and Cenk getting super weird about it. Emma, I see leftists using this language outside of clinical context all the time. Where? Cenk, where are you on the street? And somebody is like, hey, look at, it's Cenk Uygur, who identifies as a prostate person. Nobody is doing this, Cenk. So like, seriously, what the hell are you even talking about? This new excuse that no one was using it and anyway is bullshit. It's like, okay, just like point to one case where it's happening, literally one case of like a mainstream content creator saying something like this. And you know what would happen if somebody actually did that? Everyone would be like point and laugh and be like, wow, this person is either joking or they're like a right-wing grifter, because literally nobody is doing this. But I'm happy about it. If everyone wants to retire these terms to just clinical context, great. I agree. So then again, just saying here that like, okay, so we all agree. And the reason why this story is interesting, because there's so many content creators involved in this, is just that you pick your battles. right? Like, and that was like Emma's main point when the original Anna's tweet got out there. Emma did make a video that was like, you know what? A lot of what her job is just picking the stories, right? And sure, maybe there is an incident of someone being called a birthing person in a derogatory way, probably from some right-wing grifter, right? And yes, we should not reduce women down to their biological ability to produce babies. You know, yeah, we like everyone obviously agrees that that's bad. And Emma just pointed out that as a journalist, as someone who makes videos every day, you pick your battles, you pick your stories, and that story is not one that was worth mentioning, especially because it cedes territory to the right and it gets the right all riled up and on your corner. Angel Ride here saying, if we want to get technical, birthing person is not even specific language considering the number of infertile trans women with breeding kinks. True, but it is exactly, yeah, you're going to make Cenk's head explode. Yeah, but I mean, but in a medical context, it would simply be referring to people who are capable of giving birth, right? So, yeah, it's like in the actual context that these are used, they're very specific and they're not very broad scoping. Obviously, there's plenty of women, whether they're too young or too old or have a medical condition, who are not able to give birth and therefore would not fit into that category as well, right? Like, so yeah, so the fact that they're saying like, oh my God, I can't believe the extreme left is trying to make this happen, it's not true. Cenk Uygur walks around catcalling women by saying, hey, sexy birthing person. Honestly, that would surprise me less than like any of this that's happening. So Emma comes back and says, I guess then the question is, why the repeated emphasis on this, especially with no examples of electoral fallout? Why do leftists have to bend a language to appease the right? Hasn't the TYT mantra, now keep in mind Emma has worked at TYT, hasn't the TYT mantra always been about fighting and beating the right into submission, metaphorically? Here, you know, for legal reasons, adding metaphorically into the tweet. So Cenk coming back with another quote tweet. And again, quote tweets are a great way to just like derail conversation. Why not just have this on a single thread? I don't know. We didn't repeatedly emphasize anything. I mean, they just like quadruple down or whatever. Anna posted the most innocuous tweet of all time. It wasn't, which now a lot of you are saying was perfectly normal. I don't even know what he means. Then leftists lost their shit and started saying it was an attack against trans people. There is absolutely no question about who started this. He is right about that. There is absolutely no question about who started this and made an enormous deal out of it. That is true. That is true. We are all well aware of who made an enormous deal out of nothing in this case. Everyone felt like they had to do a video explaining how they're more holy than us. I love how he's like surprised here. He's like, I can't believe that we content creators who had this horrible take publicly became the victim of other content creators creating content about the bad content that we created. It's like, this is literally, what is this, your first day? Like, what is actually going on here? Like, you're supposed to be the OG of this bread tube thing, and you know how the game works, right? Like, you know how the game works, and that's why you're still playing the game right now. Everyone felt like they had to do a video explaining yada yada yada. Please don't pretend now that we're the ones making a big deal about it. They literally are. The repeated emphasis and reaction have been on social media. I can't speak to the segments you guys have done with the show, yeah, because nobody watches TYT anymore. Even though it's uncomfortable for me because I love you guys and I want TYT to be on the right side here. And it's like, yeah, I can't imagine like a better faith engagement than this. And then, of course, Cenk, he's still on his shit. Good news, we are on the right side. Mission accomplished. Wow, so fucking arrogant. Now, let me talk to you in a patronizing way about all of your opinions I need to correct. Yeah. Good news, we are on the right side. Honestly, that would be a really good tweet through all of this. It's just like, crop this out. Good news, we are on the right. Honestly, we should just do it. We should just do it. Let me get the screenshot action here. Okay, we're gonna screenshot this. I was trying to express my love and appreciation for the company that gave me my start and for my good friend Anna within the context of a disagreement. This reaction is pretty shocking to me, Cenk. Have a good one. Honestly, this Emma really handled this like really well, I think, and like it's really hard to witness this exchange and not think like, wow, Cenk is a fucking asshole, you know? I mean, we know Cenk is an asshole, but like he's supposed to be like a good asshole. I mean, he's fallen off like a long time ago, but this just seems like fallen all the way off, you know? Imagine not being interested. Oh, this is from Illuminati, who is also part of the leftist mafia. Imagine not being interested in lifting up your community. I thought we are discussing real issues that really affect people. This isn't just fucking dollar bills they see, right? Or do the issues not matter anymore? Just their delicate little feelings. Disgusting. And yeah, it's like this isn't just like playing around with some like non-issue. You know, he's supposed to be our asshole. Yeah, I know, but it's like apparently we haven't like wiped our asshole in a while or something. And the serfs here again. No one on the left is asking for women to be henceforth referred to as birthing people. This is a made-up issue. Did we already read this? I honestly can't keep track of all these tweets. Oh my God, Anna and Cenk, you both agree with me. Then why are you on the attack? Like, goddamn, if I had all the people I love and respect telling me this ain't it in the nicest terms possible about trans people, especially from the trans community, then I'd listen. That is like for real, you know, like even in our small community, if all of you in chat were like, hey, like let's call Danny out over something, you know, like I would be like, hey, I need to take this seriously because like y'all are my friends, y'all this, you know, I can't really do this without a community either, you know? So like it's very strange to be on this like scale and to be called out by like other very large content creators and then take none of it seriously. Thank you so much for the cheering, Jack. I really appreciate it. Yeah, and I changed their name to Karen that day and then just kept doubling down. Yeah, for sure. Anna really did, you know, and I'm feeling less and less bad about having now called her a TERF. So Humanist Report coming back. Did we read this? I forget. This is so effing bad faith when 99% of the left and especially trans people disagree with you and right-wing grifters and TERFs are cheering you on and retweeting you. Maybe try to be a tiny bit introspective for 2 seconds. Lance tried to engage respectfully. Yeah, it's so weird and it's almost like they want to make this something that it's not, you know? The last thing we'll touch on here before we send this fire us as tweet that's definitely going to go viral is Olay. Olay saying, it takes a lot that I host a show with 5 other white people who expressed the same sentiments as me, but TYT chose only to attack me until my co-host rightly defended me, and now they're attacking them. What is the message there? Did they step out of line by defending the black woman? Media works by shows reaching out to people who have followings they want to capitalize on. And that's exactly true. If a co-host of mine has ever appeared on TYT, it's because TYT requested their presence. It is absurd for them to attack us and claim we're clout chasing. It's obviously the other way around. And yeah, that to me like seems so evident. Like when TYT wants to get Lance from the Surfs on, it's actually their attempt to try to stay relevant with like young people, you know, and to say that like Lance is using TYT every time like they invite him on the show, it's like, oh, okay, why, how, I don't know. it's like, why, like, should, if we agree on all these issues, shouldn't we just be like building each other up? And obviously there is an attempt for people on the left to build each other up in good faith, and it's called the leftist mafia. And I guess are they butthurt over at TYT that they didn't get invited? I don't know. So Illuminati here agreeing, the serfs agreeing, and somebody making the most obvious joke that I myself have fallen into making, the young turfs. Pride cometh before the fall, it seems. Yeah, turf is a slur to silence you. Damn, I wish it worked. STFU. Yeah, for real. Feels like that. This is like white fragility. It might be. All right. Well, let's try to make a tweet here about Cenk. Will it go viral? Probably not, because I'm just a small fish in this giant sea of content creation. Yeah, so it'll probably look like this. Oops. What the hell's happening? You know, all you got to do is, good news, we are on the right. And then, is that gonna look good? It's not great, but whatever. It doesn't need to be great. Then just do a little filling, which reminds me I have a dentist appointment tomorrow. File, fill, edit, fill. Foreground color, got it. And then just take our little paintbrush and can do this over top of the tweet here. You know, take this out, go over this. Good news, we are on the right. There, that's it. That's all you need. And maybe just like center this a bit, you know, push it over a little. That's pretty good.
Yes, I see.
I see.
Good news, everyone.
Good news, everyone. Cenk Uygur is on the right. You should reach out to Demon Mama or Kef. Why not make sure you don't miss the next video by liking, commenting, subscribing, and ringing the bell? Thank you so much for watching. It's my homie, too, Taro. Peace.